there is no single issue that is dominating. The BJP having split, both the Shiv Sena and NCP is still very unsure of its victory, and you see the reaction uh, uh, to Batenge Katenge. So the NCP that is supporting the BJP and the breakaway Shiv Sena led by Chief Minister Shinde actually opposed that plank. So it's a very frequent situation. When I am saying all this, I don't know our viewers would understand. Now comes a very interesting Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari. Three senior ministers, union ministers, who also some people say that having some kind of prime ministerial ambition in the post Modi era, they have opposed Batenge to Katenge. They said that this is not relevant and they've tried to give.
What is your feeling and the kind of narrative which BJP tried to spread, the polarizing tactics and the divisive agenda? Do you think that the opposition was able to counter that?
I think, Neelu, you have raised a very pertinent issue, and here comes a problem because there is a matter of perception. The BJP always, builds a narrative that the opposition is very disorganized, it's very fragmented, whether it's in Jharkhand or in Maharashtra. Prestige battle for Mr. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. It's also a battle for Hindutva survival because the BJP wants to be the sole representative of majority community in India, and they would not want to share that legacy with anybody, particularly Uddhav Thackeray. So you see the RSS and the entire Sangh Parivar out in the field because for them it's a battle for survival. Opposition and media were always in a way hand in glove and together in a professional sense. उनका चोली दामन का साथ था. See, what we are saying from 2014 onwards is a very abnormal situation. India government can only come if a personal ego of somebody in Delhi is, sidelined, and Mr. Uddhav Thackeray is offered, chief minister post in a plateau.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought provoking conversations. The campaign in Maharashtra has come to an end, and so has the campaign in Jharkhand for the second phase, because simultaneously, Maharashtra and the second phase of Jharkhand, the polling will be held on 20th. So it was the last day of campaign. The campaign has ended, but people are still analyzing as to what is really going to work on the ground this time. Whether it was Katoge Batoge, whether it was Ek Hai To Safe Hai, BJP had made this into an overshadowing theme. Now, is this theme really working for the BJP? Because apparently they realized that the welfare schemes weren't working for the BJP, to that level to which they had thought. And has the opposition really been able to counter this narrative of the Hindu Muslim agenda, whether it was Maharashtra or Jharkhand? Joining me now is veteran journalist and author Rasheed Kidwai. Rashid, thank you so much for joining on HW News. It's wonderful to have you on the program. And we speak to you on a day when the campaign has ended and now polling is to happen on 20th. But ek hai to safe hai, katoge to batoge. And many BJP leaders of the record, and I've spoken to a number of them, they did admit on the condition of anonymity that they realized that the welfare schemes weren't working on the ground. And that is why they resorted to this Ma, Beti, Roti, Ek hai to safe hai, Batoge to katoge. What do you feel on the ground about this narrative which the BJP tried to rake up?
Thank you, Nilu. Thank you for having me here. It's a real pleasure to interact. See, we must understand certain things very fundamental. First of all, it is Maharashtra. Maharashtra. So, in certain ways, it is actually there are six states within that state, and each region has a distinct and not only demography but the socio-economic condition, the kind of caste calculations, etc. So there is no one issue that sort of cuts across or affects impacts voter in Maharashtra. So the ground situation in Vidarbha, for instance, is drastically different from what is in Western Maharashtra. Mumbai as a metropolis, as we understand, has its own kind of issues of infrastructure and all kind of other related issues that are of very urban in nature. And there is, of course, rural Maharashtra. And therefore, political parties are very sort of unsure that what is working. Now here comes the BJP, because you talked about that katenge batenge hum uh, ek hai to safe hai, all those flags. The BJP does it for two things. One is for tactical reasons, and other one is to hoodwink not only the opposition but to media and many political commentators, analysts, and everyone. So they say something and they imply something else. You look at the kind of elections that are being the fought. I'm talking about not only the narrative but the timing of it. Here is a political party that wants one election, one nation, one election. And when elections were to be sort of held along with Haryana uh, and Jammu and Kashmir, the BJP sort of, I won't say BJP, the election commission sort of delayed it. And they gave some kind of, no, why was this time given? The time was given so that more and more schemes could be launched, so particular industrial house could benefit, and Mr. Modi can travel more, all those things. And plus, that money that is going to the women as a copy of the Madhya Pradesh Ladli Bahina Yojana, that 7,500 rupees reach to a large segment of women. The MVA is also offering, but then there is something that you're already getting, and there is something that is promised. So, in a nutshell, what I'm saying, the BJP is leaving nothing to chance, nothing to imagination. Their narrative was was absolutely toxic. When you say katenge to batenge in pure terms, basically you're saying about the majority sort of perceived insecurity towards minority.
So, Rashid, you explained that, but the point is that on the ground, what has happened really? That have do you feel that the other issues took a backseat? This Maharashtra and Jharkhand elections, whether it was price rise, whether it was unemployment, and the issue of constitution. How much was that relevant? Because if you just talk about katoge batoge and you just talk about ek hai to safe hai, so what really happened to these issues? Did they take a backseat in Maharashtra and Jharkhand both?
I think, Neelu, that is where the Maharashtra, particularly Maharashtra election, is very interesting, because there is no single issue that is dominating. The BJP having split, both the Shiv Sena and NCP, is still very unsure of its victory, and therefore they are trying to be a single largest party to start with. As long as they're single largest party, they think they can have another round of sort of defections and poaching, all those things, that they have perfected that art. So that is their strategy. The fact that they are having multiple kind of narratives, on the one hand sort of empowering women, to a kind of religious polarization, to caste-based politics, is because the MVA, the opponents of BJP and the breakaway Shiv Sena and breakaway NCP, is quite, in terms of social groupings, is quite cohesive. If you look at, Dalits, you look at minorities, and you look at a large chunk of Maratha voters, that's about 48% of votes, that is remain intact. If you go by Lok Sabha elections of Maharashtra, then it is very much visible, and that is where the BJP is very unsure of it. And you see the reaction uh, uh, to Batenge Katenge. So the NCP that is supporting the BJP and the breakaway Shiv Sena led by Chief Minister Shinde actually opposed that plank. So it's a very piquant situation. When I am saying all this, I don't know our viewers would understand that there is a situation, except for the Congress and BJP, all political parties are split, and they are unable to transfer votes to their respective allies. So here is a situation that Shinde Sena may not be able to transfer vote to Ajit Pawar's NCP or the Ajit Pawar's, and Ajit Pawar has given tickets to Muslims, and he wants to keep his vote bank intact that consists of again Marathas, Muslims, and Dalits. So it's like and the BJP is trying to get in terms of caste, they want to get the backward classes votes as well as Maratha votes. Now, it's not possible when there is a competing interest. It is very unlikely that both OBCs and Marathas will come together. And there's a whole issue of Maratha reservation. So it's a very, very complicated situation as far as Maharashtra is concerned. The MVA is having a head start. They have a edge, as I said, in terms of both in terms of numbers, etc. And therefore, the BJP is trying to bring a national thing. Now comes a very interesting. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, three senior ministers, union ministers, who also some people say that having some kind of prime ministerial ambition in the post-Modi era, they have opposed Batenge to Katenge. They said that this is not relevant and they've tried to give half. Uh, Ek hai to safe hai came up as a cover up that came up from Mr. Modi. So it's like there is a lot of disquiet within the BJP and within the NDA.
Rashid, what do you feel about the opposition campaign? Do you think that the campaign of the opposition parties in both states, in fact, has been lackluster? Were they able to put out their full might? Did they pull out all stops to give their 100% to the campaign? What is your feeling? And the kind of narrative which BJP tried to spread, the polarizing tactics and the divisive agenda, do you think that the opposition was able to counter that?
I think, Neelu, you have raised a very pertinent issue, and here comes a problem because there is a matter of perception. The BJP always, builds a narrative that the opposition is very disorganized, it's very fragmented, whether it's in Jharkhand or in Maharashtra. And actually it finds traction, and some of us also, in the sense political commentators, etc., get into that propaganda because the mainstream TV channels, news channels mainly, and not so much newspapers, they also perpetuate that kind of myth. Nobody is talking about the disquiet within the BJP, as I was saying, relating to uh, uh, batenge to katenge, because Maharashtra is one state which is not, communally polarized except for few urban pockets. And you must also remember that Mr. Uddhav Thackeray somewhere represents a sort of a Hindu face that BJP thinks it's its own, territory or own turf. The BJP doesn't want anyone else to represent, so to say, the majority community's aspirations. Uh, and in that context, it is not Rahul Gandhi or Sharad Pawar who's problematic for them, but Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, because he's a Bala Sahib, son, and the United Shiv Sena had a sort of legacy that would lead on the majority community votes. So for the BJP, other than prestige battle for Mr. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, it's also a battle for Hindutva survival, because the BJP wants to be the sole representative of majority community in India, and they would not want to share that legacy with anybody, particularly Uddhav Thackeray. So you see the RSS and the entire Sangh Parivar out in the field, because for them it's a battle for survival. Remember, 2024 has given them a big jolt. And a jolt came from largely from Maharashtra, where out of that 48, Lok Sabha seats, 31 went to the opposition side and 17 went to. So it will be, you see, the victory of MVA will not be restricted to just Maharashtra. It will have a pan-Indian impact. It will impact Uttar Pradesh elections. It will impact all other state elections,
True.
Delhi, Bihar, all those coming states. So therefore, BJP is desperate, and you see a kind of, I won't say false, but a kind of dictated narrative. What is happening in Jharkhand? They are talking about Ghuspatia. Okay, they're talking about the Rohingyas. And who are the people who are talking about it? Assam Chief Minister and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister. Because these people don't understand the local dynamics of Jharkhand. They don't understand the kind of tribal sentiments or tribal issues or issues that really matter. So they are trying to impose a narrative. Fact of the problem is, if there are infiltrators, how are they coming? Infiltrator cannot enter into a state even if the state government is helpful, because there are central forces and army and paramilitary forces who are there at the border. So if Mr. Modi's government is there and Mr. Shah has been home minister, Rajnath Singh has been defense minister, how is this infiltration taking place? That you're talking about Guspatiya. So, these questions are, people are also finding traction. But to answer, sorry, I have sort of,
No, no,
gone
no,
about
please.
to
Go
various things. So, the question that you are asking is also a kind of narrative that the BJP wants, that the opposition is disorganized. Opposition is not disorganized. It is because, unfortunately, our mainstream media is not taking note of it. So if Rahul Gandhi comes with a, thing, hum safe hai, and he shows a safe, and that has a Mr. Modi's picture
True.
with this. I would also say perhaps if he should have shown some kala dhan, some black money in that safe,
Hmm.
so it would have been more potent. But
Hmm.
that campaign of Rahul Gandhi is flatly negated, not by BJP alone, by the mainstream media, and this
Hmm.
is problematic. This is
No, but Ashish,
anti-democracy
can
also.
you? No, but normally, the Godi media starts blaming the opposition. That look, opposition has failed. But would it be fair to blame the opposition if the media is not covering the opposition, and then to say that the opposition hardly has an impact, and then BJP tries all the tricks of the trade. They polarize, they divide, they use money, muscle, and power. They use institutions, and then they end up, winning the election. So,
Yeah.
what would you really say to the opposition? What are the options now actually left with the opposition? Is Maharashtra and Jharkhand going the Haryana way? What is your feeling looking at the way the campaign has evolved? Yes.
No, I don't see, Jharkhand and Maharashtra going Haryana way, because each state election is different and there are some very, sort of potent issues are there. If people remember, Hemant Soren, who was Jharkhand chief minister, was jailed by ED for a considerable long time, and the person who became chief minister is now with the BJP, that Champai Soren. So if there is a kind of tribal aspiration sort of if elections are contested in Jharkhand, in my assessment, they are being contested on the fact that on the tribal identity and tribal aspiration. Then perhaps that alliance, which is in governance, that consists of Congress, JMM, left, and other parties, will have a smooth sailing. Similarly, in Maharashtra, as I said, the caste-wise arithmetic favors MVA, and Lok Sabha elections also indicate, in that direction, that MVA will find traction. The problem with opposition is that opposition is not able to deal with media. It is dismissive of media. But Neelu, you also have a fairly long stint in media, and you understand. So there is always opposition and media. If you look at 1977, if you look at the Bofor's period of 1987 to 1989, or you look at India against corruption, or you look at even Narasimha Rao's time. So opposition and media were always in a way hand in glove and together in a professional sense. उनका चोली दामन का साथ था. See, what we are seeing from 2014 onwards is a very abnormal situation, where the mainstream media, who's supposed to be backing the underdog, or taking up issues that concern human rights and women empowerment, gender sensitivity, they tend to favor the ruling party or ruling dispensation for reasons other than journalistic or professional. Now, this is a problem thing, but I think, opposition is still never too late to demand adequate, fair airtime. Like instance, in France, there is a system that, depending upon the kind of representation you have in parliament, you get that amount of airtime. So once you have that, even if the ratio of 60-40, between ruling party and opposition, the opposition will have fair. But the opposition is also not together. You look at their thing about boycotting anchors and all. It was very ad hoc. So I think
True.
opposition needs to, when I say opposition, I mean India Alliance. India Alliance has to have its media policy right. In the sense, you cannot be, dismissive of media, and you obviously you cannot, but you need to incorporate them and reach out to them in a reasonable, dignified manner.
But do you think that anything you find very, very different as far as a campaign in Maharashtra and Jharkhand is concerned, and when you compare it with Haryana, what do you think is really stands out as far as the campaign of both BJP and the opposition is concerned?
I think in Maharashtra, it's very clear. It's as I said, other than the BJP and the Congress, the other two or four political parties, there is a kind of asli nakli fight. You see, who's a real Sena and who's a real NCP. So
Right.
that will emerge. The outcome will determine that. In Haryana, that was not an issue. In
Hmm.
Haryana, I think the Congress or the opposition, and there was no opposition. It was only Congress party. So therefore, you see, I think in Maharashtra, it's also a kind of a litmus test for India Alliance, because if MVA fails, then you will see that India Alliance will also come under strain. As you know, Mamata Banerjee herself is getting restless. The Aam Aadmi Party is also, for all practical purposes, is not on the same page as India Alliance. So then you end up being Lalu's party and DMK, who have been sort of UPA allies of the Congress. So that will be a real test. I think if uh, if Uddhav Thackeray is able to retain his Sena identity in electoral terms, in terms of seats, and the NCP led by Mr. Sharad Pawar, remember he's a veteran. There is nobody around in Indian politics who was a chief minister in 1978. Neelu, you were not born, and many
Hmm.
people who are watching this program, they were not born. So point I'm making is that it's a real kind of test for India Alliance. And for the BJP, I said, see, it's a commercial capital of India unofficially, and Maharashtra has a lot of it's a after UP, it is the second largest state in terms of its number of seats that it sends to parliament. So I think, and this Hindutva thing, so that makes it make or break. And that is why Mr. Modi and Amit Shah are leaving nothing to chance. If Maharashtra goes away from the NDA, we see a problem of Mr. Modi's survival, political survival till 2029. It may disintegrate before.
Right. No, that's true. But the kind of might which Gautam Adani has put behind Maharashtra, and of course, the reasons are very, very obvious. He has high stakes in Maharashtra. There are so many infrastructure projects which are at stake. So, do you think that Gautam Adani will really let Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi walk away with this election? That's everybody's doubt. What is your feeling?
Well, I think Uh, Nenu, I may be old fashioned, but I think in a vibrant democracy, the kind of thing that we have in India, I think voter is very smart. You look at the outcome of Lok Sabha elections. Very few had anticipated. Today, many people may say that, oh, I had said it, but very few had actually thought that Mr. Modi's party will end up with just 240. The kind of high, the kind of money or resources you're talking about. Are being employed in Maharashtra. So people are able to see through. Then Maharashtra also has a character of its own. So, and therefore, a lot of industries are being forced to, or various other reasons, shifting out of Maharashtra and going to Gujarat. So there is a old, Gujarati, Maharashtrian rivalry that was there when there was Mumbai was a state and Gujarat was part of it. A lot of disturbances were there, violent clashes are there, but that kind of identity is very much there. So I'll be very surprised if, an industrial house is able to gloss over all those things. You look at Dharavi project, you see the kind of resentment that is there in Mumbai. So, and you look at US elections, Kamala Harris has spent three times more than Trump. I mean, this is what I gather. And it didn't work. The number of celebrities that who were endorsing Kamala Harris, was very high. So therefore, I consider the business house as a kind of celebrity status in India. So whatever they are doing, it is not going to help. So I think it's more like a psychological thing. See, the
Okay.
more you talk about a particular, and that's where I think Rahul Gandhi is doing some
Oh, so
smart
you are
politics.
saying that Adani will not have any role to play in the Maharashtra elections. You are saying that the people are more clever, they will vote according to their choice.
Absolutely. I think I don't want to take Mr. Adani's name, but I think an industrial house may play a role after November 23, when there is Kharid Farokht, when Mumbai will turn into a bazaar, and MLAs are being, so therefore, I mean, resources may matter, but not
No,
during
but
the election. I'll
let
just
me
give
just
example.
interrupt you. Yeah, no, no, Rashid, let me just interrupt you because you used a very interesting term that post 23rd, Mumbai might turn into a bazaar. What is the likelihood of Mumbai turning into a bazaar post 23rd?
Very simple, Nilu. And I, as a political journalist, I see this happening. I see a BJP becoming a single largest party. Remember, they are
Mhm.
contesting on 140 odd seats. If they are able to get, let's say, 80, 85, then they will be a single largest party. And then,
Okay.
all these things like that Bazaar thing I was talking about, and the two NCPs and two Senas, all kind of things will be employed. You may also see a situation extraordinary. I don't want to speculate, but what we saw. Uh, During last time when 2019 assembly elections were held and dramatic developments took place and you had MVA. So nothing can be ruled out. I don't want to take names and
Your frame is
specialities.
frozen.
There will be an
Yeah,
attempt to get a prominent person of the MVA to the NDA.
right.
So
No, are
that
you
that
waiting for
possible.
this prominent person? You're pointing out at some possibilities. So you are saying that a prominent person from the MBA could cross over to the NDA. Now, is
May
that
may there will
may?
be an attempt.
Right.
And there is always a surprise element. If Neelu Vyas and Rasheed Kidwai know it, then it's not a secret. So I'm saying that, but there is a possibility, and that is where I think it's going to matter. See, very few people forget that coalition government's single largest party is not part of democracy. Democracy is about majority. Okay, like out of 50, you get, I mean, you get 26 places. So
True.
you have won. If you've got 14 and you do it, this is an innovation. It's not a exactly, strictly speaking, it's not a democratic exercise. So, but people don't get import of it. This is unfortunate part of our otherwise very vibrant democracy, that we have these coalitions and we see that as as a reflection of democracy. No, as a student of political science, I would say no. It's because there is no simple majority. If there is no simple majority for a political party or for a group, then it's not a representative of a majority.
No, but
So
Rashid, the
look at the kind of
last
ideological divide between Ajit Pawar and Shinde, Eknath Shinde.
right. True. No, but last two questions, and then we'll wind up the show. That what is the possibility you see of Uddhav and Sharad Pawar really pulling out all stops to form an MBA government? We all know that BJP will try hard to stop them, but what is the likelihood of Uddhav and Sharad Pawar together sailing through and forming the government?
See, I
Yes.
see every possibility of it. Let me tell you why. Because here was Uddhav Thackeray, who would have become, a deputy CM or whatever in 2019. The fact that he chose to, break away and come this side. So, what can be offered unless a chief ministerial post is offered to Uddhav Thackeray by NDA on 23rd or on 24th of November? I don't see any chance. So, he's fighting, a battle of his sort of survival and ego, because there was attempt. Who was Eknath Shinde? He was actually a subordinate, politically speaking, a subordinate to Uddhav Thackeray. So he was, won over. Similarly, in Sharad Pawar's scheme of things, 1978, such a legacy. What can they give? What can they offer to Sharad Pawar? See, they can't make him a chief minister because he's not,
Right.
in race for it. So
Hmm.
what I'm saying is, both these individuals will try a lot to bring MVA back, unless MVA, kicks itself in the sense that, look, there is a direct contest between the BJP and Congress in Vidarbh region. That is around 68 parliament assembly seats. Now, the 70 seats. So it's 70 seats. Whoever wins, I think that is going to tell the roadmap. Because if the moment Congress get, let's say, 45 over 40 seats in Vidarbha. The BJP cannot be anywhere close to 100. The moment they are not close to 100, they go down. In Western Maharashtra, in any case, NCP Sharad Pawar is expected to do well if you go by Lok Sabha seat. Similarly, Uddhav Thackeray is expected to do well in Mumbai and around. So if these things happen, then I don't see a NDA government. NDA government can only come if a personal ego of somebody in Delhi is sidelined, and Mr. Uddhav Thackeray is offered chief minister post in a plateau. Uh, then
Right.
remember, see, Uddhav Thackeray, if he switch sides, it is going to create a lot of problem within the NDA also.
So since the
Devendra
battle
Fadnavis and a lot of people are not going to like it.
True. As you said, that it's going to be tough for both sides, and you are saying that Mumbai will turn into a bazaar post 23rd. So my final question to you is that is there a likelihood of a fractured mandate, and that's when we'll see the suitcase politics coming into the forefront?
See, the fractured mandate is inevitable, Neelu, simply because there are six political parties are there. So you will have let's say, a BJP number one party with, say, 70 seats, the Congress as with something with 65 to 70, and then there are others with political parties with 30, 35, 40 kind of breakup. So as long as MVA is able to cross that magic figure of 145, then there is going to be no. If MVA is short, suppose MVA gets 120, then you will see a lot of disquiet, because remember, it's an alliance. There is very little in common between Uddhav Thackeray, Congress, and Sharad Pawar. So therefore, if MVA crosses that line of 145 seats out of 288, then I see no political you know instability. Uddhav Thackeray becomes CM and everyone else comes in. Problem will start if the BJP gets a lot of seats, let's say anything close to 100, and the Sena falls, and the NCP Ajit Pawar doesn't do. Then BJP will try to form a government with somebody from the MVA side. And of course,
Right.
Congress cannot be the player. So that
Right.
leaves Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray has a thing, make me CM, apologize, a bitter medicine for Mr. Amit Shah.
Hmm.
Similarly, doing business with Sharad Pawar. But let me tell you, a lot of people, Neelu may have told you things about Sharad. Sharad Pawar knows his constituency is Marathas, Muslims, Dalits. So the moment you cross side, you become a king without kingdom. So that way, Pawar is very sure-footed. I don't see him or his faction switching sides.
Crossing over. Okay, so interesting times. We'll have to wait and watch. But the big takeaway from your interview, I think, Rashid, is that post 23rd, Mumbai is likely to become a bazaar. We'll have to wait and watch. But first of all, 20th November is the polling day. And then, of course, after that, immediately after the polling, are the exit polls. Thank you so much, Rashid, for joining on HW News. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Stay ahead with our cutting edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.